Well, Cate Frenzy has returned. But we're kind of in a new set now. How do you like it? We may be in a new set, but that doesn't mean that the pile is gone. Unfortunately, the pile has gotten bigger. What am I gonna do? Since last week we talked about Black Widow, I thought it'd be only appropriate this week to be doing Captain America from Avengers Endgame, Movie Masterpiece Series number 536. Let's get this open. Let's get to the unboxing. So this is coming to us in the Hot Toys shipper, which means this one came from Sideshow Collectibles because you get the shipper box that says Hot Toys on the bottom. Alright. Damn, son. We've gone for 10 years. Those crazy bastards thought that they couldn't do it. Well, joke's on them, right? Wow. Let's talk about the box. Chris Evans, Steve Rogers on the front. And then we have the red pattern overlay that was on the Black Widow box as well. And then we have here, it just says Captain America, and then the shield and the Avengers logo on the bottom, just like the Black Widow box. And the back just shows you again the cast of people who are involved in making this, and just like the other box, it's a sleeve, and then the sides are just basic blue with the pattern on it. Nothing too elaborate, nothing too crazy. It's got a little bit of shininess to it, so yeah, like 8 out of 10 for the box. It's pretty okay. So for this figure, we have a couple of different layers going on here. First off, we have the shield layer, which is in this individual box. Then we have a secondary layer. There isn't any tape holding this guy down. This layer that holds down Cap in place. A piece covering his individual mouthpieces. We have this piece covering his entire body. One thing here for his head, for his arms. And there's actually even individual pieces in between his arms right here, so there's no sort of rubbing against the materials. And there's some on his feet as well. It's getting caught in this bottom part of his heel here. It's really stuck in there. You have to rip it off. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, there we go. And then get this other plastic piece off for now. And then he also has one over here in his belt, so we're just gonna take that off too. This one has a lot more plastic all over his body than Black Widow did, which is kind of disappointing because they kind of took more effort on Cap than they did for Black Widow. Just like with the movies. Because he has one right here protecting his neck. So we have the stand that's covered with this piece right here. And then the stand pops out like this. Just like Widow's stand, it has the crotch holder, and you just go like that to adjust it. Oh, what the hell? Why is this one so tight? Oh, now you know it's like really in there because it won't come out now. And then his head here is also covered in plastic as well. And same with the excess helmet accessory that he can hold in his hand. And then the compass right here is also covered in plastic to keep it in place as well. So I'm gonna give this one like also an 8 out of 10. Alright, so let's move on to the stats. From the acclaimed Avengers Endgame comes the Movie Masterpiece Series number 536 from Hot Toys, Captain America aka Steve Rogers, in the 1/6 scale, which means that his height is roughly around 12.5 inches, with a width of 2 inches, that's with him standing, and a length of 4 inches. The original cost was $348.33 Canadian, but with import duties, my cost was $383.64. Alright, so let's move on to everyone's favorite part, the sculpt and the paint. Let's go down to the table. So first off, let's just talk about the general head sculpt. So for this one, you want to move the neck to the side a little bit first, and then pop it off. Just because that helps it not damage the neck part, so you want to tilt it a little bit first. I don't know, it still doesn't quite look like Chris Evans. They haven't really gotten this down just yet, and it's kind of sad because next to the What If version, this is probably going to be the last time we see Chris Evans as a head sculpt, unless he kind of pops up somewhere, maybe Secret Wars maybe. From certain angles it does look like him, but from other angles not so much. I think it's because the face seems way skinnier. It kind of looks like an impersonator of Chris Evans, not actually Chris Evans. Every time they make this head sculpt, they have to change it over and over. Luckily, they've actually changed the hair over a few times, so now the hair actually looks super nice. It's got the nice little flick right there. It's got the little layer tuft right here, texture in the hair as well. The color, well, this color is really odd because it's a very deep gold color. It should be more like light yellow and then like a heavy dose of that gold up top. This is a little bit too dark, I think, as well in terms of color. The eyes though, the eyes are perfect. They are very lifelike. The mouth and the nose is where it gets a little iffy, right? Because it doesn't quite look like him. In certain shadow it does look like him, but like not overall. I feel like they've never gotten this face right. Certain angles it does look right, but other angles not so much. I'm still not super happy with this final sculpt of it, but like it's the best that we got in the longest time that we had Chris Evans as Captain America. The original sculpt was way off. Let me show you. Like this now, if you compare these two heads, it looks like this guy's cosplaying as Captain America and this guy is actually Captain America. They really smoothed out the face and made it more wider as the years went on. Because that's the thing I said before, right? Like it's too narrow. I think it has to be a little bit wider in order for it to really look like Chris Evans, because like even here you can see like his lips are longer and his like nose is a bit more larger as well. It's very good seeing the amount of improvement, especially in the overall design work of these Marvel helmets. I mean, the original Avengers Captain America was like good, but there were some issues about it that I was very unimpressed about, because I've cosplayed this original version before. This head thing here with the no ear hearing kind of sucked. It didn't allow you to do much, and I understand like this was meant for situations where there's large gunfire and explosion, so it protects his ears from hearing, but this exposed ear looks a lot better than this closed off ear. And it also helps the silhouette of the helmet to look a lot better. And even looking at the helmet accessory here, like there is a great amount of new detail in the new helmet compared to the old helmet. There is actually texture work throughout the mask here, and the A is a lot darker. The helmet's darker too. There is texture alongside here, so the chin strap really helped the whole silhouette. And even the back, right, we have that nice little pattern back here, and then there's nothing really on this one. So the overall look of the helmet has significantly changed over the years. You may have noticed that over here we actually have faces. So in the instructions it actually says that this is magnetic, so you can actually pull this right off and now you have a magnetic face. So to change expressions on this character, all you do is just magnetic it back into place, but you have to position it, because if you don't, you get weird ass faces like that where it's just like woo. It's kind of iffy because like the lining is very specific. You have to kind of get it in there like that. There you go. Oh nope, see, that's wrong too. Okay, this is all lined up, so that's what it's supposed to look. So it looks a little crooked. These angry faces never really look right. I don't know what it is. They always seem like he's not really scowling, but more like he's not really into the whole fight you look, you know? Kind of bothers me sometimes. Now this is where it gets really impressive. We've always wanted to see the scales in Captain America, and like these scales, damn, they're so nice. There's such a nice metallic sheen on them, and if you look really closely, there's a little bit of dirt on the scales there, so there's a little bit of extra detail there that you don't really notice unless you really look close to it. So they really did an impressive job on that aspect of the paint. This whole figure feels amazing, really sturdy. The leather pant, or like this fabric that they use for this, it's like a corduroy, like it feels so nice. Yeah, it's really hard to explain this kind of fabric. For cosplaying, looking for a fabric like this, a heavy corduroy that's like not super heavy, not super light, it was very difficult to find, and I know they took a long time trying to find the right fabric for his outfit. So this fabric may be really nice, but it makes it really hard for you to move him in any direction. So that is a little bit of a letdown in that situation, because you want to be able to pose him in cool poses. You can't really because of this fabric. It's hard to move. I feel like if I move it any further, that it would really rip, of course, like down this line. So sometimes movie accuracy makes it very difficult for you to enjoy the model, because there's no way for you to really like pose it, because there's not much motion in there. And this also kind of shows you Chris Evans' dismay of his outfits not being able to move a lot in his outfit. In the recent movies, what they did was, instead of having this as one single piece like they did in the original outfit, so he actually has an undershirt that's attached to the arms, and these are separate from this part, so he's able to move. Of course, being a figure, I don't think they actually did that. Not super bad, but if you're a person who likes to pose his figures, this may be an issue for you. Now, this bottom part here, small pet peeve, this should be slightly over this way. Might drive some people crazy because this part's not independent from this part. This white part here though, so they actually added a little bit of grit to this. It does look more gray than it does white. The metal parts here are still pretty nice. And then the back part, it has the flap here too, just like the original outfit. And there is like the metallic gun back here for his holster for the shield. This here being 2 layers of fabric for the brown leather strap is good. We have the pants, which are really well built. There is a loose thread right here. You can see that on my figure. I can get that off later. When it comes to these kind of size figures, finding a loose thread here and there is pretty common, because you can even see right here on the bottom, there's actually these 2 little parts sticking out right there. And you can see little bits of that like loose threading kind of everywhere around his body, but that's what happens when you have these such small models to work with. Now the pattern on this is like amazing, because you have the pockets here, you have the red strips, you have the knee pads. The shoes here are independent from this part, so you can move around a lot. It does have pretty good range. Again, you don't have that toe joint that you have on some figures. Like for smaller figures, you might have a toe joint, so it allows them to stand in more unique poses. We got America's ass right there. The belt's interesting. It actually, in the instructions, says that there's actually buttons here that you can take off. It says not to take off the belt button. It goes like from here to here to here, and there's this part is actually sewn on. That's kind of like a really small detail that's really impressive. It's pretty cool to see that as well. We got the shoulder elbow armor pads right here too, and the Avengers logo up top here as well. Just for comparison's sake, this is what the original shield looked like. It's a little dusty. And then here is the battle damage shield from the new version. You can see the different type of paint job. This one's really shiny, it's glossy. This one is battle damage, it's got dirt all over it. This is again during mid-battle scene when they're fighting Thanos. And on the back here, we have the straps. So the straps have changed a little bit since this one. So like this one, you see that it's just like a buckle. Well, this one has those like, what do you call them? They're like on all bags, you know, like the little insert things. So they actually do detach, you can see right there. Oh my god, this thing actually comes out. Wow. So you want to take this hand and you want to put this in first. Getting the shield onto the figure is one of the hardest parts about this. Okay, so pop this off first. Slide his arm in here, like that. And then you're supposed to slide this part in to this to hold it. There you go. Now that's the cap we know, right? This suit now looks completely obsolete compared to this suit, right? Like there's such a big difference. Man, did we come far 10 years, right? This is crazy, the difference in the outfit. They did re-release this one for the new year as well with the new version for the Endgame. They did fix a couple things. If you get the newer one, it's a lot cheaper. Slightly hurts the resale value of this one, but being the original version, I'm sure there's still some collectors out there who want the original version compared to the new 20. And then the other shield is battle damage, broken into 3 pieces. Ooh, seeing this is like heartbreaking. The way this is cut, I'm pretty sure is just like how it was in the movie. This specific breakage, like it is very minute in detail. And then let's just hold this here and hold this here, like it's a little puzzle. And then again, this still has the straps on it as well, and it does have the removable part here that allows you to put it onto his arm. One of the most pivotal scenes in the movie is, spoilers, when Cap picks up Mjolnir. So Mjolnir, this is quite interesting having this because I don't have a Thor hot toy. So seeing this up close now, I can finally see what these look like. And it has all the inscriptions on there too. It has the really fancy engravings up there top, delicate design right there. And then we also have the strap for him to hold it. This one goes into this hand. If you want to be like, you know, super cinema, you hold it like this where it's like, ooh, right? Where it's going to be going toward the hand. Just putting this together right now, I'm just like reliving the movie, right? That's the shit right there. It's kind of difficult to do poses with him because of the way his clothing restricts his movement. You can do what we can with the range of motion with this one. On the instructions, this is the piece that allows you to hang it. Wonder Woman had a piece that was very similar to this as well, but hers is very difficult to get on. This looks a little bit more simplified because she didn't have these straps on the back of her thing. So okay, there we go. That wasn't too bad. And then like we're gonna get this in there too. They really thought this out, but like frick. Okay, these little pieces, like I feel so scared doing this all every time because like you feel like you're gonna break it. Okay, there. Okay, yeah, okay. This is just supposed to hang on the back right here on this part right there. So you just go like that. Yay! So in general, I would say that the sculpt on this, a 9. I'm gonna give it a little bit less points just because I'm still not quite happy with the face and the range of motion in this figure. For the paint, the only thing that I don't like about this is that this glove is not the right color, I think, because it doesn't match here or here or here. And I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to be a darker color that's closer to this color of brown. So this is a little bit off, and as well as this head sculpt, it does look good, but like the hair I said was a little off too. I don't think this hair color is quite right either. There's a little bit too brown, not enough blonde highlight. This and this will lose 1 point for me, which means that this will also get a 9 out of 10 in terms of the paint. I'm just gonna talk one quick part because I almost forgot about this compass of Peggy. This is really funny because like I would hate to be the person who has to put this in place on this figure. The stand itself doesn't have too much going on for it. It has the shield logo on it. It's got the blue and red just like the other Avengers Endgame stands that I talked about before with Black Widow as well. After dropping the shield a couple times, no scratches. This one, oh boy, I keep dropping them. This one does have a little bit of scratch paintwork because of that metallic paint. So having paint like this actually kind of protects it a little bit better because this chipped off pretty easily right here. So that is one bonus of having the paint this way. Let's just go to overall appeal and then we'll be done the review. Alright, so that gives him a final score of 86%. He didn't get a perfect score, but no model is perfect. This one still I recommend highly, especially because of all the design work, especially in the clothing. I do want to collect the other Endgame models, but it's going to be a while before I get them. I mean, like Iron Man is like $500 by himself. And I really do want Thor from this one because I really enjoyed Thor in that movie. I'm going to have to save a little bit more. And before that, I probably need to go through the pile first. The pile is pretty big now, and I probably should do that before I get any more hot toys, because honestly, I'm just destroying myself with all these purchases. I hope to see you again next week. If you want to see some more videos, I did do a Black Widow review 2 weeks ago. It will be linked at the end, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you want to see some more, just check out all the videos in the links coming up. See you next week.